All right, hello everybody. This is Randall from Floribama Homesteader. Today I'm going to do a bit of an experiment. We're going to do a fertilizing experiment. We're going to do we're going to fertilize up these long day out fig tree and this Ponta Teresa fig tree and this Pakistan mulberry. What we're going to do is we're going to push these plants hard and see just how much we can push them and get growth out of them over the course of 1 month. So what I'm going to use is we're going to use the regular old standby Miracle Grow, which is a 24/8 16% NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare it to these organic nutrients that you can buy at like a hydroponics store. This is supposed to be top quality stuff, and I've used these on my tomatoes last year, and I have to say I ended up with 14-foot tomatoes after fertilizing with this, and I didn't even fertilize it on as recommended as often as I should have, and they did very, very well. So we're going to do a side-by-side experiment. We're going to see how this turns out. We're going to fertilize let's go with the long out with the organic, and let's use Miracle Grow for the Ponta Teresa, and we're also going to push the mulberry with the organic. What we're using today is the Green Planet Medi One, which is a 433 organic liquid fertilizer, and this stuff smells just like fish emulsion, but it's a lot more stuff in it than just fish emulsion. This has some added nutrients, and I don't know what all they put in it, but from what I heard, this is far better than just regular fish emulsion. And along with that, we're going to add in the liquid W8 that goes right along with it. This is just basically a syrup that adds carbohydrates to the fertilizer. And we're going to put just a couple of drops of Super Thrive in both, and we're just going to just add that in for extra nutrients. Let's go ahead and we'll start mixing all this stuff up. We're going to water it, and every week on Thursday I'm going to come back and we're going to mix up a new batch just the same, and we're going to water these plants over the course of 4 weeks. And let's come back in a month and let's see where they're at. And depending on how they're doing, maybe we do a follow-up in a couple more weeks just to see what they did after the fertilize, even if we don't add any more nutrients to the pots. We'll just let those plants continue to push the new growth from all the fertilizer that we added to it, and give them time to soak it up and utilize all those nutrients in it. We're going to be putting about 400 between 400 and 800 parts per million. Now, if you don't know what parts per million is, that's just how many parts of fertilizer it is in 1 million particles of and as far as measuring nutrients. You don't want to push harder than that on trees, because you could potentially burn them. 4 to 8, we even that's pushing trees pretty hard. So we're going to see how they respond, and I'll just give you a report back. Let's go ahead and mix some nutrients up. All right, Medi One 433. For a gallon of water, we're going to put 10 milliliters. That's 10 milliliters. I'm going to put that in 1 gallon of water. And rinse that out. All right. How come whenever I opened that, flies immediately started swarming? 6 milliliters of the W8 for carbohydrates. Okay. and just a drop of Super Thrive. Well, more than a drop, but you know, just a little bit anyway. All right, that should be good. Now I have my parts per million reader here, and I'm going to take a reading, and we're going to see where this lands at. All right, we're 500 parts per million on this batch, and that's going to be pretty intense for trees, but we're going to see how it does. Just give it a good water. Now, if you choose to use this stuff, I highly recommend, do not do this in your house. This stuff stinks. It smells just like fish emulsion. If you've ever opened up a bottle of fish emulsion, there's a reason that the flies swarm as soon as I open this bottle. And if you put this outside, make sure that you have this gated off, because animals will come from miles around just to dig up your plant and try to get it that smell. Because I have watered this on my trees outside before, and I've had animals come overnight. I don't know if it was armadillos, possums, skunks, whatever, but they dug up my trees where I had watered around all my fruit trees. So just be careful. All right, so we're also going to push on the Pakistan. Okay, our other comparison, Miracle Grow. The recommended dose of Miracle Grow is 1 tablespoon per 1 gallon. That should land us about 240 parts per million. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this in. We're going to see where this lands. And then we're going to top up until we get about 500 parts per million, just so that we're on a comparison level as far as the strength of the fertilizer. So we put it back. We took the Miracle Grow, we poured it into our 1 gallon container, and we put in the recommended dose of, well, you saw that, 1 tablespoon per 1 gallon. And we're just going to go with that. We're not going to top this thing up and get it on a parts per million, because organic may read different than a chemical-based fertilizer. So we're just going to do the experiment with what Miracle Grow recommends, which is the 1 tablespoon for the 1 gallon. And we're going to do a watering on this, and we're just going to keep track and see how the plants respond. Should be plenty. All right, so I'm gonna come back out here, and we'll next week, and we'll do a follow-up, and we'll see what's going on. Thanks for watching. All right, hey everybody, this is Randall. We are 1 week later than what we were. We're back here on a Thursday, and we're going to do another feeding, and I'll give you a little bit of an update. I've noticed that there happens to be some new growth on this Lawn Out. And the Poncha Teresa is looking pretty good, and I've noticed some green shoots starting on the Pakistan here. So the feeding that we've been giving them has been working, but like I said earlier, the ultimate test is what's it going to look like a month from now, and the real test is going to be what are these two figs going to look like in comparison side by side. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you a little, bring the camera over here so you can see a little bit better. So there's the Lawn Out. And then there's the Poncha Teresa. And then, of course, the Pakistan mulberry. I just decided to bring the Pakistan mulberry into this just because I wanted to give it a little extra treatment, because I'm going to favor this mulberry because I've been looking for a long time to acquire this mulberry, and one of my friends, Bob, gave me this tree. And I'm going to take good care of this and probably even propagate it a little bit. But let's go ahead and do the feeding. I've got the Miracle Grow already mixed up, the same as we did last week. And I've already have the Medi One organic fertilizer mixed up like we did last week. So I'll go ahead and give it a little feeding. Nice, healthy fertilizing. And this should start running out of the bottom. Once you get a little bit coming out of the bottom, then you know it's well fertilized. All right, I see a little bit coming out right there. And we'll just clean that up later. And since I already have this in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and feed the Pakistan mulberry. Starting to come out the bottom there. All right, now I get my Miracle Grow, and we're just going to put a little bit of this on the Ponta Teresa. Give that a good feeding. All right. All the fertilizers coming out of the bottom. We got a good feeding. This is week 2, and we'll see you next week, and we'll give you another update. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the 3rd feeding, week 2. So I've already got everything all mixed up, and let's get to feeding. Then I'll give you an overview of how the plants are doing. All right, so we got long day out, putting on some nice growth. It's really looking good right in there. Sending out some really nice shoots. All right, and then there's Ponta Teresa. That's looking good also. Ponta Teresa seems to be a lot more dark green, but that's a nice little bright shoot right there. A lot more greener than the organic fertilizer. I don't know if that's just because of the age of the leaves or what. And then Pakistan mulberry seems to be putting on some growth. Got some greenery, nice green shoots growing right there. Okay, we got one more feeding, and then we'll just keep doing updates. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, we're back. Believe it or not, it's been a month. I didn't do the last feeding. Too many things got in the way, and I just never got around to do the last feeding. So we'll go ahead and close this video out. Now, I have both of the fig trees here, and they've had a month of growth since the last video. You don't see the Pakistan mulberry up here because just a couple of days ago, Hurricane Sally hit. It was left outside, and the leaves got tattered and torn, and it just wasn't good enough, I thought, for a video presentation and a representation of what's been going on with it. But our figs fared okay. They were left outside also, but they're not torn and tattered, mainly because they were sitting low on the ground and they were protected by other plants. But we'll go ahead and close it out. So what we're looking at here is the loaned out, and it never greened up. And right now you see some symptoms of the fig rust setting in on the leaves, which is typical of a fig later in the year. So I don't have any issue with the leaves that are turning on it. But overall, I really didn't get that much growth out of it. The leaves never greened up, which is really disappointing. I was hoping that they would get the dark, rich, deep color that the Ponta Teresa and some of the other figs have. But the Londa or the Ponta Teresa, it put on a fair amount of growth, and it's nice and green. It's still putting on some new leaves there, whereas I'm not getting any new growth with the Londa out using the organic fertilizer. And it seems to me that Miracle Grow fertilizer is probably more favorable with growing figs. So we just did the recommended dose of 1 tablespoon per gallon, and just give that to the plants, and that's all it required. And I didn't get any burning over the 3 feedings that we did, and I didn't get any burning on the Longa out either, nor the Pakistan. That didn't burn. And everything that I made extra, I took out to my other fig trees and watered them. Now my feelings on the organic fertilizer, it's okay, and I've had probably better luck with on tomatoes than I did on my fig trees. So I just may stick to the organic fertilizer on my vegetables, and they seem to be do just great on the vegetables. But I've used Miracle Grow on my vegetables also, and I've had good luck with that. But as far as fig trees, I'll probably stick to just Miracle Grow only with the fig trees. And some of my other trees, I'll probably do just Miracle Grow. Maybe we'll also use a granular type of fertilizer like a triple 13 or something like that. But well, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you find any of this information valuable, hit the subscribe button, like, set the bell's notification, and we'll be bringing more stuff to you as far as growing content. Thanks for watching.